third day, there was a marriage in Cana of Galilee. And the mother of Jesus was there. It was a marriage in Cana, and the mother of Jesus was there. It doesn't say that she was invited. It just says that she was there. And both Jesus was called and his disciples to the marriage. So we see here that Jesus and the disciples were there by invitation. Yeah, by invitation. A marriage which signifies a union. There's a union about to take place, and Jesus was there. Make sure that whatever you're going to join yourself to in this season, that you make sure that Jesus is summoned, because you don't know what might happen in the union if he does not show up or is not there. Yeah, don't join anything right now that Jesus has not been invited to. If you can't invite him, it must mean that you are not supposed to be there. Anything or anybody or any place that you can't invite him to, it means that it's off limits to you. If you can't share, that you've invited Jesus there, that must mean that that wedding is not something that you're supposed to take part of. Wedding not necessarily mean being married and held in matrimony, but anything you join yourself to or become covenant with. And when they wanted wine, the mother of Jesus said unto them, they have no wine. Now I want you to, we're going to get to verse number 5, but before I get there, and when they wanted wine, the mother of Jesus said unto him, when they wanted wine, the mother spoke to him. Means that this was basically none of Jesus' business. Yeah. They wanted something that caught the attention of Mary that went to Jesus. So Mary here is acting as somewhat of an intercessor between that which is needed and that which can provide what is needed. Yeah. So in your season of transitioning, make sure that you know somebody who can get to Jesus. Yeah. Just in case you need something that you don't know how it can be provided. Yeah. That's not where we want to go, but I can stay there for a while. But so they, and the Bible does not say why they had no wine, but they wanted something that they did not have, which means that probably they didn't prepare for what they were trying to do. In this season, my sisters and brothers, make sure that if you're going to do something of significance, that you are going to prepare for what you are going to do. In other words, don't prepare a little because you serve a great God. Let me say it again. If you prepare a little, that means you don't have the faith in God that he can take your little and make it much. So if you're going to do anything in this season, do it God size. How dare you go to McDonald's and say upsize me, and don't go to God and say God upsize. Okay, yeah. I need somebody in this season to have an upsize expectation. You can say, neighbor, upsize your expectation. Yeah. So now look at this now. So Jesus said unto her, woman, what have I to do with thee? My hour is not yet come. Now I want to I don't want to deal with that word woman here, but what I want to do is deal with something that I want you to see in the text that's not coming up out of the text, that I want to show you that's in there. It's in there. Jesus said unto her, woman, what have I to do with thee? Mine hour has not yet come. Now look at this. We see Mary here, the mother, was the one who represents what Jesus or how Jesus got here. Well, y'all follow me now. Okay. So Jesus was subject to Mary at one point because she carried him. Mm-hmm. She carried him. And even at the temple when Jesus was 12 years old. Okay, remember he was teaching, but he submitted himself to Mary, who was the flesh that carried him. I'm going somewhere. So that was a time that Jesus was bound by flesh. He was bound by Mary, who he honored as the fleshly mother. So he was subject to a fleshly desire. But now Jesus is no longer a little boy now. And Mary now comes to him representing that flesh, that part that carried him at one point. But Jesus now said, now I must be about my Father's business. So I'm no longer bound by the dictates of flesh now. I must be bound by my Father. So just because you tell me that there's something going on, there used to be a time you could pull on me. But because now I know that I must be about my Father's business, I got to check with him to make sure I can do what you want me to do. Okay. Let me come down here. Down. See, there was a time, my sisters and my brothers, when you are around people and they really can give you a good word. They can give you a good philosophical a concept, or they can talk to you pretty good. And you are dependent upon them because they carried you. Okay. There's some people who you depended upon to be your prayer partner. When you needed a word, you went to them. And you really hung on every word they said because you really were growing. But then you messed around and got an encounter with God yourself. And now that same person comes to you with the same word, but the word don't sound the same because you are not in the same place. Okay, so you tell them, I know I can do it, but my hour has not yet come. You can't let people pull you into what they think that they want you to do because you know it ain't none of your business. Stop getting in things that you know ain't none of your business. Just because somebody else is messed up don't mean you got to be messed up with them. Okay, let me come over here. Say, neighbor, there used to be a time I was carried, but now I become a man. Or a woman, I can speak for myself. Okay, hold on, I'm going somewhere. Watch this now. So watch this nuance here. So we see here in this wedding a union. But now this union has ran out of wine. What happens, I said last week, my sisters and my brothers, when the relationship you're in has ran out of wine? Okay. In other words, it used to make you feel good, but it don't make you feel good no more because it ran out of wine. I'm talking to some people in here that have relationships that have ran out of wine. And you're wondering why it is that you don't want to be there no more, because the wine that used to satisfy you don't satisfy you no more. Somebody say the wine ain't there no more. Okay. All right. Yeah. What do you do when you come to church and there's no wine in there? Yeah. Okay. Yeah. What do you do when you come home and ain't no wine there in the bedroom? There ain't no wine in the living room. In other words, the relationship you're in now ain't cutting it like it used to cut. Anybody in here is in a place right now that you are saying, I don't really, watch this. It ain't me, it's the wine is gone. Okay, hold on. It wasn't that the people were in the wrong place. It's that the wine was gone. See, sometimes you got to bring back watch this. These people did not translocate themselves. They just got more wine. See, you don't have to. In other words, God's saying is that if you allow me to put new wine. Come on now. as a possibility. Hold on. I didn't say give it yet. I said as a possibility. Because you can't get the new wine until I do something with you. Yeah. So what he's saying here is the wine is a potential. But I can't put new wine in old. In other words, before I put this in you, I got to change, yo. Because I'm not going to give my revelation to stuff that going to spill on the floor. Hold on. Hush this now. Sometimes we want new relationships, but ain't willing to change our mind. We want a 10 to come to us, but we living in a 4 mentality. Are you getting what I'm saying? If you want a 10, watch this. If somebody wants a friend, you got to show yourself what? So if you want a 10, you got to make yourself a 10, because 4s don't attract 10s. So watch this now. So Jesus is saying here, he says, watch what he says. Watch what he says. See? Now he says, mine hour is not yet come. Which means that I'm bound now by time. Because time now is dictating what I do. So he goes back to Ecclesiastes and checks with Ecclesiastes 3:1. Said to everything there is a season and a time for every what? Purpose. Now look at this now. No, that's just nuance here. So Jesus now is finna step into a part of ministry he's never done before. Yeah. It does not mean that he can't. This is just his first time. Okay. Be careful of stepping into things too quick your first time without checking with God, because you ain't never been this way before. Okay. All right, let me say it this way. I'm going to come down your row. If this is your first time doing anything, you better make sure it's your time to do it and not somebody else's time for you to do it. That ain't the time for you to do it, because you're going to hurt yourself doing things out of time. Okay. So what Jesus is saying here is that he says, I can do it. He never says I can't. He said, my hour is not yet come. Watch it now. Wouldn't mean that it's coming, but it's not here. Look, put yourself. There are some things that you can do, but now is not the time, because your hour has not yet come. So just because I can, don't mean I should. Okay. That's just now. Now, I want to get up off of that, because I got to get to divine power. My hour is not yet come. Well, Jesus was regulated by hour, by time. Even though he was in eternity, he was regulated by time. Watch this. Okay. You can do anything you want to do in your house. But when you leave that house, you are governed by the law that dictates how you act when you leave your house. Okay. So Jesus is saying, I can do anything in eternity because I'm ruler. But when I step in time, I step down from who I was. Now I got to look to the one who has the power of time and ask him, is it time for me to do what I know I've been released to do? Okay. All right, now watch this. Yes, it is. Look there. But now look how it changes here. His mother said to the servants, hold on now. The people ran out of wine. Mary turned to Jesus. Huh? Come on now. The people ran out of wine. Mary turns to Jesus. Jesus talked to Mary. Mary don't say nothing else to Jesus. Mary turned around and talked to the servants. Hold on. Something wrong here. Something wrong. It seemed like she should talk back to Jesus. Can I tell you why she didn't talk back to Jesus? Because when she gave it to him, what she was saying is, whatever you want to do with this is in your hands. I brought it and I'm going to leave it. I'm going to go to the ones, Lord have mercy. Hold on. Notice, she didn't go to the one who was over the feast. I'm going to get it in a minute. She didn't go to the ones who were the shot callers and the ballers. She didn't go to the one who had the titles. She didn't go to the one who was sitting down with their collars on and had the bells and whistles. She found some servants. When you can't get a prayer through, you better find a servant. Lord have mercy. Okay. All right, watch this now. I'm teaching. Watch this now. But Deacon Bailey, she turns from Jesus and goes to the servants. Now, look what she says. Whatever he said. Hold on now. He ain't said nothing yet. Oh, y'all gonna get it. She turned from the one who seemingly does not listen to what she's saying. But you gotta remember that Mary had relationship with Jesus. She carried Jesus. She was intertwined with Jesus. In other words, you ain't got to go and beg somebody you got relationship with. You go and leave it and say, what you want to do it. I'm going to go now and I'm going to talk to somebody. Watch this now. Hold on. Y'all going to get it in a minute. The reason why Jesus couldn't do nothing yet is because they hadn't done nothing yet.